everyone, this is Luminous coming guys for the Pro Dota commentary. Today I am continuing that WDC coverage. This is TongFu versus MT. And the question right off the bat is, who the heck is MT and who the heck is TongFu? The answer to that question is, who the heck cares, man? This is WDC replay. I will be bringing you guys a lot more of these in the nearby future. My voice a little bit shot because I've been covering DreamHack all day long. I have DreamHack to cover in a couple of hours from now, but I just want to squeeze in a WDC Dota 1 replay for you guys to watch if you guys could not make it to the DreamHack coverage. And Luminous, I actually need kind of one of those like a superhero tag, you know what I'm saying? Like, Luminous, Dota 2 caster by day, Windsor not tire by night. You know, that sounds pretty legit. But unfortunately, it's just Luminous, Dota 2 caster by day, Dota 1 caster by night. I need someone to come up with like something legit for me to represent myself. But it looks like the picks and bans are already going underway. For this commentary, I decided to do some things a little bit different. I'm not gonna, well, I'm still gonna do a strategical analysis, but I'm gonna focus a lot more on skill builds. I think I did this before, maybe not. I can't really remember, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on skill builds and talk about why these skill builds will affect the laning phase, will affect the mid game phase, and maybe affecting the late game phase. Not so much, because when you're going into the late game, you're pretty much maxed out on your skills anyway. So it's going to be a strategical commentary in that sense. And the reason I'm doing this for this game is, well, you know, it's MT and TongFu. Like, I don't personally know who these obscure Chinese teams are. I don't think anyone would know who these obscure Chinese teams are. It's not like Nirvana China and WE, where we could talk about, you know, their playstyle, or their aggression, and all that stuff. It's MT and TongFu. So I'm going to talk about these skill builds. Hopefully they have somewhat standard skill builds. If they don't, I'm going to tear them apart, you know, shred them apart. No problem. But let's look at the heroes that we have on the table today. It's going to be a Windrunner, Clockwork, Ancient Apparition, and then Scourge. We have Weaver, the Lycanthrope, and Puck. So really good chasing power for the Scourge. I want to point that out. Sentinel going for a little bit more AoE, a little bit more team fight oriented. So I'm sure a lot of viewers that are watching this right now, like, if I ask you right now, you could tell me we're in a skill build. If I ask you the Weaver skill build right now, you guys could tell me, like, easily, you know, 1, 2, 3. What does Puck scale? Well, he takes Orb 1, 3, 5. He will take Phase at 2, take Raining Rift at 4, take Dreamcoil at 6. Like, standard skill build. You guys know that, right? You guys, that's a very common knowledge that I'm sure you guys all have. I want you guys to forget about that. Forget all of that. You guys know what each skills do, but not exactly what order to pick them skills. And I think that might tie to some of the players that are, you know, been playing Dota for a year or so, trying to get better, but not exactly know what the pros are building, because they haven't watched the pro replay, they haven't watched the pro commentary, and that's fine. And hopefully with this game, by the end of this game, we're gonna learn some of these heroes a lot better. And well, that is the goal. That is the goal, by the way. I have coffee alongside with me, so I'm gonna stay hyper all day. And the reason I have coffee alongside with me was, well, I woke up 8 in the morning to cover the qualifier matches for DreamHack, and Group 1 game starts 1 AM in the morning for me. I'm like, am I gonna sleep? Nah, too good for sleeping. I'm gonna just stay up at 1 AM and start casting until like 8 in the morning. So I'm gonna stay up, cast Dota, and then go to bed. That's the way of life, ladies and gentlemen. No, that's probably don't aspire to do that, because that's pretty sad. I'm actually feeling a little bit emo right now. But hey, it's not a commentary, it's WDC, right? It's coffee. Man, I feel hyper right now. Let's skip through the pick and ban. Not really interested too much about this. Whoa, gotta slow down right now. Alright, we have people picking their heroes and skilling their skills. You can see a lot of stuff is fairly common, and I'm gonna do a lot of this today. So okay, so right off the bat, this is what, 4 or 5 minutes in the commentary already. If what I said earlier it does not sound like a good idea to you, don't watch this comment. Don't, because it's going to be a lot of pausing, it's going to be a lot of analyzing. I want to see what Winrunner is skilled up. Picked up Winrunner and won. And that might be indication that she's going on the long lane solo, but it's not, because she picked up Observer Wards. So that's an indication that she's going to be going on support. So if you're going to support and yet you pick up Windrunner, I'm not too sure whether that's going to be the best choice. Now with a lot of hero, but more specifically with heroes such as Windrunner, Dazzle, heroes that has really good multiple spells that are good at level 1. Generally the best thing you could do, and Rasa comes to mind, we do have a Rasa and Scourge I believe. Yep. Those are the heroes that you want to save your first skill point. Don't actually skill it until you actually need it. You see that the Rasa skill Shackle right now? Well, what if he needs Ether Shock to last hit? What if he wants the Hex for the instant disable? And well, he won't have that now because he skilled Shackle. So it's always a nice habit to have to actually not skill anything until you actually need it. Now when you're hitting level 2 and 3, you know, might as well, you're probably gonna have a good idea what skills you actually need. As we maybe had a little bit of engagement. We actually, Ancient Apparition got hit down pretty hard there. So real fast, gonna see what Anti-Mage took at level 1. As they take anything, it took Blink at level 1. Okay. Sometimes you don't need a Blink level 1, just saying. Sometimes you want to have Mana Break at level 1, especially when you go up against a Nerubian Weaver on the long lane. So let's look at the lanes and the heroes real fast. We're going to have a Rasa and TIE Hunter most likely going on the top lane. We have Lycan defensive jungling. Puck going to be solo mid for the Scourge. Weaver going to be picking that haste rune. Going to be dropping some Observer Wards to block off a couple camps. And he is going to be soloing on the bot lane. Looks like on the mid lane here we did have Clockwork. Picked up Rocket Flare at 1. We have Windrunner to support. Picked up Windrunner. And then we have Pugna going on the top lane here. So Pugna on the long lane, very interesting. Going to have a little bit of help from the Windrunner. On the bot lane here we have Ace. A lane that has 0 synergy. It is going to be Ancient Apparition and Anti-Mage. Like, how does Kofi combo into anything? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. So Kofi is going to be used as a harassment method. Of course, with the Weaver, you pick up Sakuchi level 1 for a little bit of survivability. And looks like we have Fairy Dragon picking up the Phase. Oblivion picking up the Decryptify. And so far, nothing too out of the ordinary. Sometimes you want to pick up Wards at level 2, but most of the time you want to pick up at least Decryptify at level 2. And then you work from there. We'll talk about why you want to pick up Wards and why you want to pick up Decryptify later on in the game, as we see skills being picked up. And oh, right off the bat, I want to talk about Chilling Touch being skilled up by Ancient Apparition. Now, normally this is a fairly good skill build to pick up. You know, just cold feet, and then whoa, what? Chilling Touch? What? I thought his skill Ice Vortex. I have no idea why he skilled Chilling Touch, because Chilling Touch, it's a decent spell if you drop it on the Anti-Mage and he's able to do a little bit of harass, but he's not going to have that chance because the Weaver has Sakuchi. So anytime you see the Anti-Mage coming at me, he could just Sakuchi out. So I have no idea why. As we see a really long range Shackle being jumped up on the roster. So I have no idea why he skilled Chilling Touch. I thought he skilled Ice Vortex, and I was gonna say that would be a bad skill to have. In fact, the best thing that he could have done at level 2 is skill stats. And the reason I'm saying that he should skill stats level 2 is, guess what? You're not gonna get Ice Vortex and Kofi combo on the Ancient Apparition. You don't have a leading stun partner such as Anti-Mage. There's no way your Kofi's gonna tick in and get the actual stun. There's no way the Ice Vortex is gonna do anything better. You're not gonna use the extra mana for the Chilling Touch spell. So really, there's no reason to get any other spell aside from stats. Getting extra stats will allow you to do a little bit more harass, tank up a little bit more, drop off an extra cold feet once in a while. And I think that is the best way to do it. But well, that is his thing to do. As we see, Anti-Mage skilled up Spell Shield at level 1 and level 3, and that's a huge mistake in my opinion as well. And looks like we have a little bit of engagement on top lane here. We have Shackle and Gush going off against Pugna. Pugna is going to take an Ether Shock. First blood goes off to Mulu. Is that the TIE Hunter? No, that is the Rasa. Looks like we do have the Lycan coming in as well. We're not being popped right now, but looks like there is another Gush cooldown from the TIE Hunter. A couple more right clicks. Oh, crit from the Wolves. Going to claim themselves 2 kills. We have a little bit more engagement going upon the bot lane. Let's talk about the Anti-Mage. Why do you want to skill Spell Shield? Well, Spell Shield is a good spell to have if you're against a very nuke heavy lane and you want to survive. Does Weaver sound like a heavy nuker to you? It does. He does not sound like a heavy nuker, and because he's not a heavy nuker. Against the Weaver in the lane, you can skill Blink, you can skill Mana Break, and both those spells will be by far a lot better than Spell Shield. Because guess what? There's no spell damage coming your way anyway, so that's a Huge mistake. Now, of course, does it matter that he really got Spell Shield instead of Mana Break? Not that much. If he's gonna do a lot of physical right hits, the skilling the Mana Break is gonna, you know, be nice, but he's not gonna really find the Weaver. Weaver's gonna stay mostly back. But you know, maybe if he's joining a team fight at level 7, where he wants to do the DPS with you know, Mana Break, and he can't because he got Spell Shield, that would be pretty big fail. Of course, having bigger Mana Break will help you last at those creeps as well. So far, this bot lane for MT pretty fail in my opinion, with the skills being came up. It looks like we do have Ancient Apparition spotting out the Weaver. We have level 2 Sakuchi being picked up by the Weaver, fairly standard build, and we saw level 3 Ether Shock being picked up by the Rasa, so maxing the nuke, fairly standard. Generally, if all else fell, right, 99% of the time, max your nuke, because that's probably the best way to go. Should be maxed. Looks like we have Ancient Apparition hitting level 4, and he skills Ice Vortex right now. Question number 1, if you're gonna skill Ice Vortex in the first place, why didn't you skill at level 2? Question number 2. Well, it's not really a question, but whenever a skill spells, generally you want to skill them together. So if you're skilling Ether Shock, you max it, or else you don't skill it at all. Of course, there's some really, like, you know, there's always exception to the rule. You know, just taking a single level of Leap, taking a single level of Windrunner, things like that. But I don't think Ice Vortex or Chilling Touch are that kind of spell, so I have no idea really what this level 2 Ice Vortex is going to do, or level 1 Ice Vortex or level 4 is going to do. In fact, it's going to do nothing. Again, it would have been better if you take stats right there, because guess what? Ice Vortex is going to do nothing for you when he Sakuchi's out. Again, Anti-Mage taking level 3 spell shield. Has he even got hit by a spell yet? I don't think so. So mad confused right now what this Anti-Mage, what this bot lane is doing. But Pugna, at the very least, most likely he is going to go for a fairly standard skill set. It looks like we do have the Wolf coming in. There's a Gush on him as well. You can see these Wolves. Oh man, critting right now, and they're going to go on for Pugna. Pugna really quickly right now. Shackle shot just on the Wolf, but there's a wow, look at that Shackle. Nice hook in, but that's going to be it. Looks like we didn't have mana for that battery assault, and looks like the Ross gonna run straight out. We do have a Gush slowing down the clockwork once again. There's a teleportation incoming from the Lycan Wolf. Are they gonna give chase? Looks like they are not gonna give chase. Winner and fairly low. We do have Shapeshift being picked up by the Lycan Throat, of course. That is standard. Picking up your ultimate, picking up your best spell whenever you can. Gonna quickly check out what Clockwork actually spells. So Hookshot at 1, Clockwork, Cog at 2 or at 3. Picked up a early level Cog, and that's generally non-standard. And then he's got Battery Assault at level 2, Hookshot level 1. So he's mixing and matching his skills. He's got a Battery Assault, level Cog, and most likely he's maxing the Rocket as he goes, which is not bad. Let's see how good that Rocket damage is as it flies on the top lane. I can't tell. Maybe he's a level 2 Rocket. But Sakuchi being picked up at level 3. Now generally a lot of times with the Weaver you don't want to max Sakuchi by 7. In fact, you probably want to put more points into Swarm. You want to put more points into Gemini attack. But guess what? You're long-lane solo. You need to have as much better, you know, as low of a cooldown on Sakuchi as possible. And so that's why he's maxing Sakuchi. So, and that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense than maxing Spell Shield against a Weaver by yourself. That made no sense, by the way. So don't max Spell Shield. If you're free farming. Mana Void's gonna be taken at level 6. Now normally, again, that you would take Mana Void at 6, but in this case with level 1 Mana Break and you're not actually doing any damage, and again you're up against a solo hero, taking Mana Break at 6 actually makes no sense either. It's probably a little bit better off. If you want to be defensive, then go defensive all the way. If you're maxing Spell Shield at level 6, just take Blink. It looks like we have a big engagement on the top lane here. Puck in position right now. Rasa in position as well. The Scourge actually pushing off a couple of towers. And of course Rasa picking his wards at level 6. And let's see what is the level of the Pugna. I'm actually really curious what Pugna is skilling. In fact, is he skilling Decrepify or is he skilling wards? And it looks like there's going to be no No fight over that tower. Rocket Flare skilled at level 3. Clockwork in position and coming right now. We're gonna have a team fight breaking out. Looks like we don't. Level 7 Clockwork skilling at level 3 Rocket. So yeah, he's definitely been mixing and matching his spells. As a Clockwork, that's fine. I mean, you kind of get what you need. And looks like we do have Pugna skilling Nether Ward at level 2. So he's got 3 levels of Blast, 2 levels of Nether Ward, and 1 level of Decryptify. And this is the standard Pugna build. And the reason why this Pugna build is really, really good is, unless you're going for mass hero killing, which I don't think MT is going for, Nether Wars 9 times out of 10 is really better. Most Chinese game is really positional based, right? You're going to have one team here, you're going to have another team here, they're going to fight for this tower. When you have those positional based fights, having the Nether Ward in position is going to give that minus mana regen. So we have gonna Lycan coming right now. I don't think he get too much done. And that ward give you positional advantage when there's many spells being casted back and forth. The ward not only gonna take their mana but also zap them in terms of HP. Decryptify is also really nice. However, when there's again positional play, the Pugna really have to walk up and then cast the Decryptify and then nuke. By that time, he probably will get nuked down to death. So if you want to really turtle and stay back, which the Chinese always love to do, picking up wards or maxing wards as your second spell is better. And you can see that he actually picked it up at level 6 instead of his life drain, because again, life drain early level is not too good. So he's gonna pick up wards instead. And we see wards being dropped down once again by Mulu. I really like Mulu's play as they're going to try to get this tower denied. They're not going to do so. Shaco Shack going to hit against the... Dream Coat going to drop down as well. Ancient Aberration goes down immediately. Looks like Winman is going to break the last. So the Winman is going to go down as well. No, she actually pops a Winman. Going to make it out alive. Lycanthrope trying to do the right click. Half HP is the anti-mage, but Lycan actually very low. Nice hook in from the Clockwork. They're going to get the kill against Lycan, but there's a Ravage game drop down right now. There's a Gush, and there's the Spell Shield being a little bit effective. And you can see this anti-mage fairly tanky at this point in this team fight, but guess what? Is he doing any damage? No, because he got no mana break. He's got the Vanguard finish as well, so this anti-mage being very, very, very tanky, but who cares? Who cares about tanky anti-mage? Weaver, by the way, probably maxing his Sakuchi as he comes along, and most likely he's going to take a little bit more levels of the Gemini attack and Swarm as it goes. I'm going to be very curious whether he's going to take Gemini attack or Swarm as it goes out, because Swarm's going to give you a little bit more teamfight potential. Gemini attack gives you a little bit, or is it Gemini attack? Gives you a little bit more lasting potential. So he hits level 8. I'm curious to see. Clockwork Goblin skills battery assault a level 3, and he is level 8 right now. I'm not asking you guys to kind of jot down, no, ooh, this is what this pro player is skilling, because there's there's two things about this game. One, we can see that these pro players are definitely not skilling the best skill sets, especially this Ancient Aberration, especially this Anti-Mage. These are really bad skill sets, and you shouldn't learn from that. Number two, these skill sets should adjust game to game to game. Unless you're a very stable hero like freaking Sven or Earthshaker, where your skill set never really adjusts. With these really versatile heroes such as Anti-Mage, Ancient Aberration, where you could allocate your skill points a little bit differently, you should adjust game to game. For example, a key point in this game is talking about the Weaver. Well, generally you don't max Sakuchi by 7, but in the long lane you want to, because it gives you that survivability, gives you that lower cooldown, and it's really harassing this Anti-Mage now. So you want to adjust your skill points set from game to game to game. This looks like we have Dreamcoat being dropped out on the Pugna right now. There's a silence on him as well. Orb is going to go up on the high ground. Nicely done, but there's a really nice self-decryptify fight. Looks like Hook is going to miss as well. Pug barely going to make it out alive. He's going to bottle in the high ground in the fog. And looks like Pugna really low. He's going to TP out. Can he make it out alive? Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Woo! That was close, and here comes Puck trying to get a lot of damage done, and he's going to orb out just fine. So Puck trying to set something out. He brought everyone really low, but it was not enough to bring them down. Did Weaver hit level 8 just right now? Curious, sorry. I wanna quickly check. The Ruben skilled Worm. Yeah, so he's going for Swarm. Gonna go for a little bit more team fight potential, which is a decent way to think about it, because his teammate is a little bit more early game. There's a Rasa Ward, they could claim tower easily. There's a Lycan Wolf, they could claim tower easily. They have the Dream Coil, and they also have the Ravage. So this is a fairly team fight oriented lineup, and picking Swarm is going to help you in that regard. Sure, Germinate attack is going to give you a little bit more DPS against a single hero, but Swarm is just going to give the enemy team another thing to worry about. It makes sense. Is this skill build the 100% correct thing to do? I don't know. But it makes sense to me, and I wouldn't say this is a bad build. There's a difference between a really a build that makes sense and a build that makes zero sense. For example, Anti-Mage maxing Spell Shield by 7 against a Weaver on the long lane makes 0 sense. But, you know, taking Swarm right now makes somewhat sense. As we see, Weaver is going to be free farming up a little bit. Anti-Mage now probably taking Mana Break and keeping his Blink at level 1. And the bad thing about keeping Blink at level 1 is you have an insanely long cooldown. A lot of time with Anti-Mage, you know, you could go in and blink into a team fight. That's generally not a good idea overall, but you know, if you have a max blink, right, you could blink in a team fight and be like, oh yeah, you know, we could start a fight, 6-second cooldown. If it looks bad, then I'll just turn around. But if you max spell shield and keep your blink at relatively low level until level 13, 14, then you blink in, you're like, oh shoot, not gonna be good. As we see Cog, battery assault, and where's the Cog? Where's the Cog? No Cog just yet. They're gonna get the free kill on the Lycanthrope. Not too sure what that was going on. No, he was just baiting for his teammate right now. Rasa doing work. As we see Tidehunter Rasa gets up with himself a double kill, as all they lost was really the Aegis. Weaver giving chase right now. They're gonna find themselves a Clockwork. Clockwork half HP. The bug is on him right now. All the armor being drained so much, and looks like this Anti-Mage gotta back out right now. So trading an Aegis for 2 kills. An okay trade, I suppose. Pretty decent. And I want to really point out how well Rasa is playing right now. Did he drop his ward? He didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't. Let's check out how he's doing on the mana. Yeah, he has really high mana. If he dropped his ward, he really will be at 200, 300 remaining mana. I want to compare this roster to game number 3 of Stars Boba versus BFF. If you guys watched that game, if you guys still remember that game, that Rasa used wards in every single team fight. Whereas this Rasa is not really, he's not using the wards unless he really need to, and every time I see him use the wards is all out in a push. You know, oh, as we saw, nice, well, he did use a ward up here to save himself, but unfortunately did not really do so, and actually died as well. But every time I've seen this Rasa, use a ward here to push, use a ward here to push. And a team fight right now, just happened right now over here, that BFF Rasa would have dropped the wards, like, he would have dropped it like it's hot. But right now, Rasa's saving the wards mostly, but use it on the top lane. But yeah, it's really important for your Rasa, because your wards have such a long cooldown, and every time you use it, this should be a very big thing that you're gaining. A tower would count, or if you're getting a triple kill in a team fight, that would count as well. And I'm not sure, I gotta say, it might be not the best ward being dropped right there on the top lane. But it's okay, it's okay. Pugna level 7 right now, going to be hitting level 8 as well, so going to be probably taking another level of his ward, or he might be taking life drain right now, considering that he still haven't skilled his ultimate just yet. Shackle Shot is going to whiff, and that is going to be end of that engagement. Is Clockwork going to hook in? Looks like it's not going to be hooking in. By the way, if you haven't noticed, Windrunner has skilled level 2 of Shackle Shot, and there's a swarm coming in right now against the Pug. Pug trying to orb out. She is going to make it live. They're going to go for the Ancient Aberration. Ancient Aberration goes down right now. Here's Weaver. Continue to give chase. No, he's going to turn back against a Clockwork. Clockwork very low. A couple more hits, and he is going to go down. Oh, there's a Decrepify to keep him right now. Shackle Shot on him as well. A nice call to keep himself alive, but actually, they're actually really trapped. It looks like we have time lapse going against the Pugna. Pugna, a couple more hits. One more hit away. Looks like Sakuchi's going to grab them kills. Still chasing for the Clockwork right now. He doesn't have magic wand charges. He's going to use a swarm. He's going to just Sakuchi you out, and he is going to be fine. Well done by this Weaver. Staying alive throughout the entire team fight. Still looking for more. The swarm is going to find this Clockwork. It's going to die straight in. Looks like he is going to do so, but Shackle Shot against it. Where's a Power Shot? Power Shot, and D's going to hit a couple more right clicks. No, he does level up somehow, and that was the bug, getting a kill against that Clockwork. He's going to make it alive. Maybe if he dodges Power Shot, indeed he will. Nicely done by this Weaver. Oh, and look, if he had caught him, he was actually switching treads around. I think I saw agility treads at the beginning of that team fight. At the end of the team fight, switched it to power treads to grab himself a little bit more HP. That tread switching maneuver might have just been what he needed to stay alive. And meanwhile we have Windrunner scaling his Shackle Shot to level 3 right now. And Windrunner skill build fairly standard. Of course you max Power Shot as you go along, and then you take a single level Windrunner, and then you go for Shackle Shot as well. You don't scale your Focus Fire until much later in game. In fact, a lot of Windrunner play would skip Focus Fire altogether, and even prefer stats. But you know, Focus Fire is a pretty decent ultimate. Pugna just turned level 8. Let me check out what did he skill. He skilled Nether War level 3, so it's gonna skip his ultimate altogether. Whether that's a good or bad choice, I say it's a pretty decent choice, considering that the Scourge does have so many stuns, and you don't really want to stay around in a position and, you know, deal with things like right click from the Lycanthrope. We don't want to deal with that Weaver. There's so many stuns, disables. A channeling ultimate from the Pugna, probably not the best way to go. So he's going to skip that one altogether. Again, is this a standard build? I don't know, but it makes sense in this game. And I think as we go by, as we watch more and more games like this and we watch it in this particular mindset, you can see that there's not one distinguished build that you can learn. And this is the reason why I hate doing things like guides. I hate doing things like reading guides, because they advocate, oh, this is the one build you should do. And to me, Dota, you got to learn how to adapt. And heroes are versatile by nature, so you gotta adapt accordingly. And we're seeing a little bit of a really nice adaptation coming in. Is it bad to skip Pugna ultimate all the time? I don't know. Sometimes I think in several occasions it might be good to pick up your ultimate to do the damage to get yourself a little bit of healing. But in this game, probably not. Again, dealing with all those physical DPS that will out DPS your heal, and of course dealing with all those stuns. That's probably the bigger reason why he did not skill his ultimate just right now. Looks like Ancient Apparition hit level 7. He maxed his cold feet, and of course he still have that Ice Vortex. He still have that useless level of Chilling Touch. And I don't know if it's a misclick or I don't know what he was thinking when he skilled it, but right now it's doing nothing for his team right now. I don't think you have even seen him cast it yet. It looks like we have Swarm coming in right now. There's a Blink, Silence, Dreamcore, Ravage gonna be dropped there as well. 2 kills going immediately. A 3rd kill. There's a Hex and Shackle as well. Look at how easy it was for the Puck to initiate with that really nicely. Blink, Raining Rift, Dreamcore comes down, and everyone being dropped down right now. Rasa War still not dropped down. Again, he's saving it. He realized that he doesn't need it right now, and they probably don't even need it for this tower as well. They're trying to dive up for a couple of heroes. Anti-Mage in position. Anti-Mage fairly tanky. Gotta keep in mind he does have a Spell Shield max. He does have a Vanguard, so he can play aggressive. And this is the good thing about maxing your Spell Shield a little bit early. You can actually tank up a couple of hits. But looks like this. Oh, actually, we do have a solo kill attempt from the Clockwork. He is going to get the solo kill, but he's definitely going to go down. I gotta say, I don't like Rasa's move there. He dropped the wards. Really, I mean, even if you save yourself, the ward's going to be somewhat useless. Shackle Shot's gonna hit on the Weaver. He is invisible right now. Puck is gonna go down. Nice counter team fight. We do have time lapse being dropped off in this Weaver, and this Weaver's gonna be fine. So pretty over aggression coming from the Scourge team, trying to chase in for a couple kills, and it looked like they're gonna be fine. Maybe they're underestimating again. If Anti-Mage if he max Blink, he would have died there. But considering that he didn't max Blink, we have max Spell Shield, this is a time where you could use your skill build and play a little bit aggressively. And indeed he did. So he played it aggressively enough. And he was able to transition that skill build into a couple kills. So that's kind of what I mean. Utilizing a skill build and play accordingly. And I'm glad that the Anti-Mage survived that team fight. Because, well, that's what Spell Shield is good for. Help you survive. You know, Pugna trying to get off a couple of cheap shots against this tower. Doing somewhat of a decent damage. Gotta be worried about his health though. Let's take a quick look at the item progression so far. It looks like we have a very standard Treads Vanguard into Yasha build up for that Anti-Mage. We have Windrunner trying to pick up Force Staff, and Force Staff is going to be very important against that Puck Dream Coil. As you said in that last engagement, once you get a Blink Silence in and the Dream Coil off, they are dead. So if you could finish the power Force Staff really quickly, that's going to be very helpful. Pugna going to go for the Mecha. He's a little bit far away from that. This Ancient Aberration is doing nothing except feeding, and of course Clockwork trying to finish his Vanguard. I mean, on the Scourge side, we do have the Weaver already have Vanguard Strength Threats finished. Looks like he's going to be going for Medallion Courage. Going to be doing a little bit of more right-click damage. Looks like, ooh, Mecha being attempted by the TIE Hunter. Interestingly, this is the first time I see a support TIE Hunter going for Mecha. Oh, Weaver going to time-lapse up Shatter. Looks like we have the Necro Book being attempted on the Lycanthrope, going to give themselves more pushing power. Of course, when you turn into your ultimate form, your summons always move in 522 movement speed as well. Looks like we have Weaver playing really aggressive, just scaring away the entire Scourge lineup. Anti-Mage just maxed Mana Break right now, and he was really going defensive build, so he was maxing Blink and the Spell Shield. That's as defensive as you could get. Looks like the Lycanthrope is going to run straight out. The hook is going to miss, and we have the Puck is going to blink out there as well. So really nicely done. They got themselves a free tower. Not going to invest even more time on that bot lane. So everyone just got out alive. And Scourge just got themselves, 3,000 go for the entire team. Nicely done. Of course, the Puck already have that Blink Dagger finished. Another Medallion Courage picked up on the Lycanthrope. Do they need double Medallion, or is this Weaver going for another item? We will have to wait and see. TIE Hunter, yeah, talked about the mecha already, and looks like Shadow Shaman is going to go for a little bit more tanky potential and going for the Django. A little bit of extra HP wouldn't hurt. Both TIE Hunter Ravage is up, I presume, and the Rasa Ward should be coming back on cooldown fairly quickly. And you know, I've been talking about how he has really good Rasa Ward placements. I gotta say, that one was questionable. By questionable, I mean suboptimal. By suboptimal, I mean bad. Alright. Lycanthrope going to max How now, so he maxed Wolf first, and then he maxed Feral Impulse second, and then he's maxing How now. Of course, he took a level ultimate whenever he could. Looks like we have a little bit of a Roshan engagement. How, Medallion Courage plus Gush. Ooh, minus so much armor up on that Roshan. And they're going to get themselves a free Roach kill. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is going to hit, but that's going to just not going to do too much. As we see an engagement popping off right now, we have a Blink, Waning Rift, and Dream Core coming in right now. That Pugna is going to be dead. It's going to self-decrepify, not even going to make it alive there. As we see Ravage going to hit the second hero on Ancient Apparition goes down right now. Nice Shackle shot on the tree hero. Shackle goes on the Clockwork. Clockwork is going to go down. 3 kills for nothing. Oh, it looks like we have a Blinking Monovoid. Gets 1 free kill right now. It's going to go for the Puck. Puck fairly low HP, but considering that there's a Blink Dagger on the Fairy Dragon, going to be difficult in terms of finding that Puck. It looks like we have Ravage, Anchor Smash being skilled up right now. Anchor Smash at level 1 being skilled up. I want to talk about that. Nowadays, when we see TIE Hunter, we always see TIE Hunter maxing Anchor Smash after Gush. And as much as I love Anchor Smash, I gotta say a lot of players are really forgetting how exactly good Kraken Shell is. What Kraken Shell is, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a spell that blocks a lot of physical hits, and whenever you take a certain amount of damage, it will just basically debuff all negative stuff. So if you're stunned and it procs, you will get unstunned. And that basically makes TIE Hunter a hero. It's like a walking ultimate. He walks in against your team. What do? You stun him? Well, he has Kraken Shell to proc that one off, and he's gonna, you know, ravage you guys anyways. You're gonna try to run from him. That's pretty much the only thing you can do. But if you have a, you know, well, yeah, going back to the skill build real fast. So a lot of TIE Hunter nowadays is like, you know what, Kraken Shell does, excuse me, the Anchor Smash does a lot of damage, so let's, you know, scale that one up. But this TIE Hunter says, I'm gonna go for the ultimate for sure. I'm gonna cast my ultimate for sure, so I'm gonna level up my Kraken Shell. Again, is that the correct thing to do? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, because the Dream Coil is gonna set you up. The TIE Hunter is basically gonna walk in. And with the Dream Coil in place, keeping everyone in place, and the TIE Hunter walks in, what is the only thing that the Sentinel alignment could do? They could nuke the hell out of that TIE Hunter and hopefully kill him right before he drops his ultimate. But when you have Kraken Shell on that Tide, that is going to take care of that. There's no way you're going to nuke down the TIE Hunter before he drops his ultimate, because that's what Kraken Shell does. It will debuff, and he's going to press V, and your whole team is dead. So if you keep that in mind right now, suddenly leveling up the Kraken Shell might actually be a pretty decent choice. In the standard game, might be leveling the Anchor Smash would have been a more superior choice. So again, you guys see, if you're reading a really recent TIE Hunter guide, it will tell you, oh yeah, max Anchor Smash because it's always better. But in this occasion, maxing Kraken Shell might be a little bit better. We're going to have a break team fight breaking out. Weaver destroying that ward really nicely done. They're going to get a free kill against this. Women are going to go down. It looks like we have a 2-man Dream Core being dropped down. Clockwork going to go down for sure. They're going to work on the Pugna. Pugna, half HP. He is going to get chased down to death. And this is why Necrobook is so good, because all those minions chasing like crazy, and even Anti-Mage with the Yasha and Blink just have to get the heck out. As we see Necrobook going to be summoned and working against this Ancient Protector. Ancient Protector actually regenerating up quite a bit. TIE Hunter and the Lycanthrope had to wait for the creep support coming in. What has Ancient Apparition done so far? I don't think anything. And after that engagement, I'm going to check out for a couple team fight. Looks like we have a Blink Dagger, not Blink Dagger. How did this Rasa get into nice position? Ward's being dropped off. Shackle on the Anti-Mage. And there's another tower kill being claimed up. And looks like we have Scourge Relentless on that push. I'm not too sure whether that ward was absolutely necessary because the tower was so low already, but they definitely wanted the Anti-Mage killed. So I guess it's worth it as they're going to transition. Nice Shackle shot. It looks like tower is focusing the Lycanthrope. Lycanthrope gets mech'd up right now, but are they going to jump in tower at half HP? And we have a lot of nukes being traded back and forth. They are going to bring down the Lycan. He does have the Aegis right now. And here we go. We have the entire Scourge team still pushing this one up. I don't think Sentinel can defend this. Nice deny with the Clockwork. But I think Sentinel is really out of steam. All their ultimates are off cooldown at this point. Yeah, and the Scourge is gonna take down the melee racks. Are they gonna go for the range racks as well? We do have a Shackle on the Windrunner. He does pop off the Windrunner, and she's gonna be absolutely fine. But Lycan comes in right now. A couple right hits is gonna get the kill. It looks like Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is gonna hit just Lycan, but Lycan says, I don't care about that one. And they're gonna grab themselves a couple racks, and they are gonna turn back. So I want to see what Ancient Apparition has skilled up. Ancient Apparition hasn't even leveled up at all. I don't even see him anywhere. Ancient Apparition skill Ice Vortex level 2. Ice Vortex at level 3. So gonna go for the cold feet and back to Ice Vortex. That's a very standard build and makes sense. But what the hell was that Chilling Touch at level 2 about? I gotta say, it must have been a misclick, because if he was seriously getting that, then it would have been a really bad build. So we're approaching a stage of the game where your skill build doesn't matter too much anymore, right? Because as we see Life Drain being picked up at level 10 and 11. Because at this point of the game, you know, you have most of your spells max anyways, and it doesn't matter what order you pick them up. In early outside of the game, it's always a trade-off, because you have only one skill point and you have 3 skills to put it in. And for most heroes, it's fairly standard. With the Sven, what do you put it in? You put it in the Stormbolt, so you can cast it once before it become useless, right? You know, with the Vengeful Spirit, you put it on the Magic Missile. Actually, Vengeful Spirit is going to be hard to tell as well, because sometimes you want to take, you know, Command, or sometimes you want to take Terror. You know, with the Windrunner, you put it in your Power Shot. So for most heroes, it's a fairly standard way to skill it. But again, in this game, hopefully we have realized some heroes, even though they're standard skill builds, sometimes a standard might not be what you need. Again, the Kraken Shell on the TIE Hunter, this Anti-Mage is kind of a defensive skill build, things like that, you know. I wish I kept a little bit closer eye on that Clockwork, because Clockwork was definitely skilling all over the place. He definitely just picked up Power Cog at level 2 right now, so, you know, just interesting skill builds, some things that we could learn from. And maybe when you guys are watching pro games in the future, just kind of jot down what the pro players are thinking, and you know, before you say, oh yeah, you know what, Zoe skilled it like this, it's 100% right because Zoe did it. Just kind of think, is that really necessary? If he skilled it like that, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and think, you know, why is that good? And I really want to encourage, when I'm starting to make my you know, help the beginner player series or whatever I'm trying to do with that one, that's kind of the thing I want to promote. I don't want to promote like, okay, follow this guide. Whatever this guy says, you do. That's, to me, that's not the way to play Dota. Dota is about adaptation. And seeing these pro players sometimes making mistakes, seeing these pro players sometimes having the best skill builds in the possible situation, always nice to see, because, you know, it's always nice, yeah. Looks like Invisible Puck is getting... I think the tower definitely sees him. But, alright, looks like we have War being dropped down right now, but the Scourge team does not care as they go right in. Pugna War is going to get right-clicked down easily. Yeah, by all those minions. Necro Books be like, yo, bro, destroy me. The tower says, okay, I will. Is Rasta going to drop his wards? No, it looks like they are going to turn back for now. And I have a huge-ass bug on my table. I'm not talking about a Nerubian Weaver. It's just literally a bug on my table. There's a ward being dropped down by the Rasta, and this tower not long for life. Hook in, gonna grab 2-3 here. No, before he got the cog off, he got hexed, and he is gonna be in trouble. There's a cog right now, but he's gonna go down immediately as we see Pink is grabbing off a couple here. By the way, Pink had a Radiance. Of course, Lycanthrope had BKB, but you know, we don't really care about that in this game. We just care about the skill build, and you can see that this game is really boiling down to the final phase. So let's tie it all together. We've been talking about skill build throughout this game, and at the end of this game by the way is over, right? You can see that Scourge is really winning by far amount. At the end of the day here, let's think back to some of the mistakes we saw. I believe that Anti-Mage skilling Spell Shield against a Solo Weaver was a mistake. I believe Ancient Apparition skilling Cold Feet and Chilling Touch, Chilling Touch and Ice Vortex was a mistake. If they go for the skill build that I advocated, would it have mattered? Would it really matter if Anti-Mage max spell, Mana Break and Blink instead of Spell Shield? Would it matter if, Ancient Aberration picked up stats and not, Ice Vortex and all that stuff? I actually don't think it would have mattered, or at least not in a way that will shape the outcome of the game, right? So you might be thinking, well, this does not defeat the entire purpose of this commentary. Like, you know what? It seems like you could make a mistake in a skill build, but it's not gonna matter at all. And we're approaching a stage of the game where it's really difficult to tell what exactly lost Sentinel the game. I don't think this is a skill build that lost the game. In fact, I think this is the picks that lost the Sentinel game, because you can see by picks, Scourge has so many more pushing power. They have the Lycanthrope and Necro 3. They have the Weaver. They have the Puck. They have the Rasa, and that is an insane pushing lineup. And there's really nothing much that Sentinel lineup could do about it. So it's really a lot easier to say the pick, to see the pick lost the game for the Sentinel. But I also want to point out is probably due to very good skill build by the Scourge that may have had a hand in winning the game. Weaver had a really correct skill build in terms of keeping himself alive. He skill Swarm instead of Germinate Attack to give them a little bit more team fight potential. Definitely helped out in the mid game pushes. Of course, we talked about the Kraken Shell versus the Tidehunter Ravage. Excuse me, Kraken Shell and Tez compared to the Anchor Smash. That definitely helped out in the team fight as well. So yeah, Scourge, Sentinel made a couple of mistakes in terms of skill build, but Scourge, got all the right things to do, or they got all the right skill builds themselves, and maybe that was why they were winning the game as well. So, it's always difficult to tell who's actually why you're winning, but it's always nice to do the correct thing, right? This is exactly what I'm trying to advocate. As we see a huge team fight breaking out right now. Weaver is going to be on cleanup duty. This Weaver is playing absolute champ right now. He's got this Radiance just chasing down everyone. GG's going to be called. And TongFu going to bring some tofu home tonight. Oh, zing! And that's the game. So I'm not going to do these kind of commentary because that was really analytical. I'm not too sure whether you guys even enjoy that. You guys watch a game to be entertained. I know that. I understand. But once in a while, I want to do something a little bit different. Hopefully, you learn something like this. And again, want to shoot this message to all the newer players out there. Don't follow guides blindly. Just think, why do you actually skill like this? Just ask yourself in every single game, do I want to skill this skill here? Is it actually good? I don't know. It's a question that you have to answer yourself. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. And of course, I will bring you guys more WDC replays in the nearby future. Until next time, hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Luminous signing off. See you guys.